Hey guys, let's say this is the part two of WhatsApp design, and in the previous part, the first part, we've designed the navigation bar. We've designed from charts to updates to communities to polls. We've designed all those things. So our next implementation now is the other pages, the remaining pages, which will be the home page, the updates page, which is the status, the community page, and then the call page, right? So that is the next part. All right, so without talking too much, let's get to it. So in the previous implementation, the part one, we've already designed our bottom nav bar. And in this new part, we are designing the remaining screens, right? So for that screen, we can create a list. Let's create a list of widgets. We'll create a list of widgets. So we have list, we have widgets, and then we call it screens. And then this screen will return list of widgets, right? So let's just make text and call it, let's make center. Let's do center. Then we call child. And then that child will be a text. So we call this a chat screen. And then we do same for the remaining screens, right? So let's do same for the remaining screens. Let's do same for the remaining screens. Yeah. So this becomes the updates screen. This becomes the community screens. Community screen. And then this becomes the calls screen. All right. So now what we are trying to do is to navigate through the screens from chats to updates to communities to calls, right? So when we move to this, we want its respective screen to show, right? So that is what we are doing. So to do that, when we come to the body of the scaffold, we can return, first let's return a column. Oh no, separate the bottom from the body. Yeah. So first we take column. So we first take column, which will have children. Then children will be screens, right? All right. So we can call the children to be screens, and then from that screen, we'll pass the index, which will be the current index, and then that will pick the current screen. So, oh, okay. Let me not go that way. I want to go this route. Okay, let me go straight to the point, right? So what I'm trying to do is I want the screen to be swipeable. When users swipe from this, you should be able to get to go to the next screen instead of pressing icons. The user should be able to just swipe and move to the next screen. So with that, we can use a widget called page view. The page view widget. The page view widget takes wait, let me take that from out of so page view widget takes controller, so which is page controller, so we can just call the final page controller. This is what we'll use to control the navigation from page to page. So we call it page controller, which will be page controller. So this controller becomes page controller. Yeah. And then in there, the page controller has children. I think, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, it has children, which is children. Then we can pass our screens. Now, so let's refresh and see what we got. So let's run the app all over again and see what we got. Guys, if you are watching this, if this is your first time watching me do my live, that is something that I do on every Saturday. I do it every Saturday. My viewers or my fans, my supporters normally decide for me the application to build. I'm a Flutter developer. I do backend as well, but currently I'm just doing stuff in Flutter, right? So they decide for me the app to build. I take a look at it and then we build it together. So that's currently what we are doing now. During the building process, we discuss widgets, we discuss processes, we discuss techniques, and we code together, right? So if you are watching this for the first time, I would love you to be part of the family. So subscribe to the channel, comment in the comment section if you are okay, if you like what we are doing, like the video because it's not easy, like it, and also share it with your friends that would love to be on such channel, right? So don't forget, subscribe, comment, like, and share with friends. We do this every Saturday. If you want to be part, you can just put on post notifications. We notify you before the development day. So normally give you like a 2 days notice with posts on the channel and my other social platforms which are in the channel bio. You can find them there. Follow me on all social media platforms. Be part of the family, be part of the journey. Yeah, so that's that. Let's wait for Gradle to build our app. When it's done building, then we move on. Yeah. If you are watching this, I would like to know where you are watching from, right? I'm working from Ghana. Why? If you are watching from Nigeria, if you are watching from South Africa, if you are watching from Cameroon, if you are watching from China, Japan, Korea, if you are watching from the Netherlands, from UK, from US, just anywhere, and you want us to know or recognize you, don't forget to put that in the comment section. I really appreciate you, and I want you to appreciate me as well, right? Okay, so our app is building. Let's wait for it to build, and then we go into our development. Yeah. Remember, this is the part 2 of the build. The part 1 is in the chat. You can go into the playlist, the Code Researcher playlist. That's where you find our live videos, right? So if you are watching the part 2, which is this, make sure you go back to the part 1, watch it, follow the process, and understand what we are doing. All right. So let's wait for Gradle. Gradle is taking forever to build here. Let's wait for Gradle to build and then we continue. Yeah. Gradle is taking forever to build. Gradle is taking forever to build. So this is what we've done so far. We've worked around the navigation bar, which is on design, We've worked around these bars in the first episode, in the first part, and currently we are working on the remaining screens, right? We are working on the chat screen, the update screen, the community screen, and then the call screen. So if you are new to this, I want you to go back, check the previous one, and come watch this. Yeah. If you are new to Flutter, then this is the right place for you. We do this every Saturday, and we also share tips, Flutter development tips. We also talk about widgets in this channel. You can go into the Flutter Essentials. There is a videos there. Videos are there talking about Flutter widgets, Flutter techniques, operators in Flutter, just anything Flutter is in there. So if you are new to this, you are the right place. Subscribe, comment, like, share with your friends, and always put on the post notification, because every week you will get a content from here. Every week you get better in Flutter. Yeah. So our app is installing. Let's wait for it to finish, and then we can go into development. All right. So from the previous section, we are supposed to implement our new pages, the 4 pages, which are the chat screen, the update screen, and community screen. That's what we put in this list. And then in the scaffold, we want to use page view so that users can just swipe and then move to the next screen instead of pressing on the navbar icons. Yeah, so that is what we are doing. So we're waiting for Flutter to successfully build and install the app, and then we will jump into development. So we have our screens, we have our page view, the page view controller, the page controller, which we'll use in after the app is done building. We'll use that. The controller is what we use to manipulate the movements of the pages. If we want the page to move from page 1 to 2, page 2 to 3, we use the controller to do that. So let's wait for it to build, and then we jump into development. Yeah. Okay. So whilst it is building, I think we can even come here and start doing some few stuff, because we will do this when it's done building. So I feel like it's gonna be nice for us to just do it now. Yeah. So now we are using page view, right? So when the user taps on an icon, we have to navigate the user to that particular page, right? So what we can do is call page controller. So on top of an icon, we call page controller dot jump to page, or let's say navigate to page. Let's not jump. Jump to page or navigate to page. We have jump to page, animate to page. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So when a user taps on a particular icon, they would like to animate to that particular page, right? So that's what we are doing in here. I thought the app was done. Oh, What happened? All right. Okay. So which page are we navigating to if the user clicks on a particular icon? So we can use that to be the current index. So navigate to the current index. And then for the duration, we'll use a constant duration. The duration to animate to that particular screen, we'll use a constant duration of maybe 3000 milliseconds. It should be 3300. And then for the curve, we'll just use ease in out, right? Where is ease in out? Yeah. So let's rerun our app. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Waiting for our app to build. Oh, the app is taking forever to load. That's Gradle. So yeah, our app is loading. Just have to give it some time. When it's done, then we go into the sweet part of the whole process. Yeah, I think we should give it some time. That's Gradle. Gradle doing its work. This app is taking forever to load. Oh my God, Gradle. All right. So whilst it is loading, let me go through the design, right? So when this is done, we would have to tackle the design from the chat screen, right? So the first thing I'll do is to now go to this first part, which is in the app bar. I'll first design this. This will be the leading element, and then this will be in the actions. Or better still, like just put this in the bottom and then keep this, all this in the body. Then keep all this in the body. All right. So let's see. Where are we on the side of Gradle? Yeah. So this is the part two of the development process, developing WhatsApp on live. This is part two. We've already worked on the part one. If you are watching this right now and you haven't watched the part one, I will ask you, or I will plead with you, pledge with you to go watch the part one, because when you are here, you might get lost in what we are doing. You might not understand why we come to the design and use this pencil tool all across, and you won't understand anything unless you go to the first video, you go to the episode one or the part one, and then go through everything, right? So if you are new to this, I would want you to go back, watch that to understand clearly what we are doing. All right. So thank you as you do that. Yeah. So where is our Gradle build right now? Is it still taking forever? Gradle is still building, which is taking forever. Okay. Where are we? Tell me, why does Gradle take so much time to load a single app? Funny enough, this is not the first time I'm building this app. This is basically the 10th, 11th. I've built this app several times and I don't expect it to take much time when I'm rebuilding it. Wow, Gradle is really, really surprising me tonight. But we just have to wait for it because there's nothing we can do. We can't forward Gradle, we can't fight Gradle. Gradle always do what he likes. So we got to wait for it. Yeah. So we are waiting for it to build. Whilst it is building, if it is done building, then that is the next thing we are going to do, right? We are going to move all these widgets to their respective classes, which will be created under this screen, right? So under this screen, we are going to have the chats screen, we are going to have update screen, we are going to have community screen, and we are going to have call screen. They are all going to be standalone classes that we will use later in the development, because we are going to tackle them in parts. We are tackling charts in the next episode, which is going to be next Saturday. We will work on updates. The next Saturday, we will work on communities. And then the next Saturday, we will work on calls. We are designing WhatsApp from start to finish. So be part of the family. Share, comment, like, subscribe, so that when we post, you will see. All right. If you are new to Flutter, this is the place for you. If you are an old Flutter developer, this is still a place for you. We got to learn together. And I want us to learn together. So yeah, be part of the family. Happy coding. All right. So Gradle has loaded and is still loading, which is kind of, yeah, but we just have to wait. Just have to wait for Gradle, yeah? No rushing. I think I have to do a video on Gradle versus NPM, just a funny video where someone running in Gradle will be like, oh my God. And then someone running in NPM will just be smiling and like, yeah, because everyone believe NPM packages are big, but when it comes to building a Gradle stuff, I just sit and ask, is Gradle that big? Is Gradle that big? because it literally takes forever to run a Gradle app. Yeah. The app should run by now. Why is it not? Why is it not here? The app should run by now. Because this shows that it has started. Which is which? Oh, let me. Guys, I think okay. Yeah, so guys, I think I ran the app on the wrong device. I have multiple devices connected to the PC, and I just realized that I ran the app on the wrong device. I was blaming Gradle. So let's wait for it to run, and then we jump into development. Yes, guys, I'm back from the commercial break. Yeah, so previously I ran the app on the wrong device, which took a very long period. After loading, then I realized it was on the wrong device, right? So sorry for that. Sorry for the mix app. Our app is back now, so I think we can get to work. All right, so our app has run and we want to check whether the implementations has worked, right? So let's go in there and check. So as you can see, our screens are working. Now when we swipe, when we press on the icons, you can see the screens move. But when we swipe, the bottom nav items doesn't move. And that is what we will work on right now. So when we come to the page view, we'll look for the function that says, let's look for that function. Where is that function? On page changed, right? So we'll take on page changed. On page changed takes index. Then we can say set state. Then we can say current index should be equal to that index. So when the page is changed, this function or this method should make the bottom nav items also change, right? So let's try that and see. So you can see now when we swipe, our items also change. So we have our bottom nav items. We are done with the home page. Now we go into the development of the chat screen. So what we are doing is we are going to create a screen for all this, replace this with those screens, and then we can now focus on developing that screen. So let's create the first directory, which will be for chats. Or should I just go directly to creating the screens? Now, let me do this. Chats. We have the directory that goes for updates. Have the directory that goes for communities. And then we have the directory that goes for polls. Yeah. So now let's create our chat screen. So we'll call this chats. We'll call stateful widgets to create charts. Then in here we'll call scaffold. Then we will do similar thing for the rest. This is communities. Let's create a stateful widget that calls communities. Then we create a scaffold. Create a scaffold that has a body of constant center, which has a child. Let me just use this for that. So it has a child called communities. So we can do similar thing for the remaining screens. We have charts, we have updates. Let's do that for updates. We call updates. Then we create stateful widgets for updates. Then in here, we can return scaffold. Okay. Let's first import scaffold and then call this updates. So the last one will be calls. Let's create calls and call stateful widgets and call it calls. And then we'll do similar thing for calls as well. So import scaffold and then call this calls screen. Yeah. So let's close all the tabs, go back to home and replace this with our widgets. All right, so this will be charts. This will be charts. This will be updates. This will be updates. This will be communities. This will be communities. And then this will be calls. Yeah. So now we should have all our screen in the page view. So we can rerun the app and confirm. Yeah. So we have all our screens now. So from here, we can now start with charts. We can now start building with chart screen. So let's go back to the design and see what we have. So we have this at the top, and then we have all this at the bottom. So we can start with the app bar. So our scaffold has an app bar. We can call this app bar. And then we call bottom. Bottom takes preferred size. This takes size. The width is the width should fit the screen, so we call double dot infinity. And then the height for now should be 0. Yeah. And then with the child, we would have WhatsApp and then this. So that's going to be a row. So we'll have row. Inside row, we have children. Then with children, we have one section, which will be text. Then that text will be WhatsApp. Then after that, let's set main axis and set space between the elements. Then let's call size box. let's call size box and then make child. And make child a row. Make children. So with this, we have children, we have the image we have the camera icon and then the menu icon. So let's check our assets and see what we have. We have chat, we have Meta AI, we have camera, no we don't. Do we have the menu? No we don't. So let's find that and export them. Okay, while that is loading, we can run our app. There's few things to do to this. We have to set the style. Set a text style. Then we set the color. Color will be green. We have that color in the home screen, so let's go pick it from there. We have the color here. So let's pick this and what do we have here? So we pick our color. What? Let's drop our color here. All right, and then the font weight. It's a bold one. Again, the font size. The font size is more than 24, but let's give it 24 for now. As our icon loaded, our icons are still loading. So in that case, we can move forward to running the app and checking what we got. Yeah, let's run the app. So as you can see, this is what we have currently, which is looking pretty good here. So we have to set a pattern that will take the WhatsApp away from the edges. It's too close to the edges of the screen, so we can set pattern and make symmetric. This will be horizontally aligned using 16 px. Yeah, so let's now see what we have. Yeah, so we have our WhatsApp. Okay, so we have our WhatsApp. Let's check if the site is done. It's still loading. Wow. Our site is still loading. The design is there. Are we close? Yeah, we are very close. Guys, this is not easy. The struggle, the stress, everything, it's just not easy. It's not. This is not easy. So if you are watching this, please support me, support the channel, support the movement, right? This is for users to learn, for beginners to learn how to tackle designs into functional apps. So if you've come across this video, if a friend shared it with you, if it's recommended to you, if you've seen it in your search, just subscribe, like it, share it with your friends as well, comment, and make sure you watch it. Watch it and give your comments on what you think. I would like to hear from you. Thank you. All right, so our designs are loading. From here, we need two icons. We need a camera icon and then the menu icon. So that's what we are looking for. As you can see, our app is looking almost like WhatsApp. So yeah, it's looking almost like WhatsApp. If you're done with it, then you delete your actual WhatsApp and use this here. Yeah. Yeah. Our designs are in, so let's look for that particular one. All we need, pick them from here, then go back to development. So what do we need? We need the camera. So yeah, we need you. We need you. I think we have that already. Let me check. Yeah, we do have the camera. Yeah. So I can come here, then pick this and use our camera. So the camera, as we can see, is a button. So we can do this for now. Later, we'll just replace it here. On code with Secho, currently we don't go into backend. We just show you how you tackle UI and turn them into real backend items, right? Sorry, not backend items. How to change UI, just designs or photos into functional mobile apps. That's what we do on code research for now. We're trying to keep things as basic as possible. So I wouldn't want to take a beginner into state management and the rest for now. For now, we just focus on getting UI into a functional app. Then later, we can go into details or into complex stuff. So let's load our camera. Okay, so it has appeared. This is ICO28 photo. Let's just copy this name and then replace it with this, and rerun our app, and voila, that's that. Now we have our camera. What next do we need? We need these 3 dots. Yeah, we need them badly. Do we have a vertical one? Do we have a vertical one? There's no vertical one, but I can just translate this one. So I can pick this and translate it. Let's do the rotation. Where do I rotate it? Yeah, so we can have it this way, and then we export it. Then we export it. Okay, so let's shift our icon. We have our icon here, so we can just pick this, and then we call one of this is this. Then we replace this with our icon. Okay. All right, so let's run our app to make sure our icon is reflecting. Yeah, so now we have our icon. All we got to do is to put a space between them. All we got to do is to put a space between these icons, so we can have a constant size box with a width of 16.0. So we use this to put a space between our icons. Yeah, so let's compare what we have on the design, the UI, and then oh, the space is pretty big, very big, not pretty big, it's very big. So we can use 32 as enough to push it all the way. Okay. So I think we are almost there. Now we have our camera, we have our icon, we have our WhatsApp at the top. Now the next thing for us to do is to design this, the search bar, right? The next thing for us is to design the search bar. So let's go into it. No time to waste. Let's jump into it. So we have this too. So I've seen something. Instead of this, I think we can use animate to. Which is okay. All right. So now we design the search bar. So we have this, we have this, we have our app bar set. We go into the body. So we call the body, and then the body will be a single child scroll view. That is for scrolling. And then the child will have a single child scroll view. We'll give it column. So start a column as child, column will have children. And then because you want to take the items away from the screen, we'll wrap this column in padding. The padding will be in a symmetric state, and then we set horizontal to 16. So just padding the element 16 pixels away from the edge of the screen, right? So that's what we're doing. Now, after we have this, the next thing we do according to the design is to create the search bar, right? So we have a search bar widget that we can call and design. So we can call search bar. We have this. Let's run the app and see if our search bar is active. So as you can see, we have our search bar. Now with this search bar, we would have to design it to look like this. So let's undo all the lines. Okay, so we have to design our search bar to look something like this, right? Okay, so the first thing we do in here is to reduce the elevation to 0. So we just state property and reduce that to 0. So that should reduce the shadow, the bottom shadow from the search bar. That should reduce that. And then before we begin the column, we can make a vertical padding of 24. The elements will be away from the bottom. Yeah. So we have that. The elevation is gone. We have to set this. Let's pick the background color, the gray color. Let's pick that. Okay, let's pick that, and then go back into our design and let's set background color to, let's call color. Let's call color 0x EE, then we pass our gray color. Oh, it doesn't copy. Let's come back, paste. Yeah, so let's rerun this and confirm. That's very light. That's very light. It's not even showing. That's too light. So we'll have to make it our way, yeah? We'll have to make it our way because we can't get the actual WhatsApp designs, so we'll have to make it our way, which can be kind of stressful. But yeah, it's all part of the game, yeah? So we can add this some small opacity to it to, yeah. So now we have this, we have the background. Now we can add a leading icon, which will be the Meta AI icon. So we can use this here. We can use this here like this. If we run this, we should have our image as the leading icon. So let's see. Yeah, we have our picture as the leading icon. Then we can now take this, the Meta AI, and use it as the leading icon. Yeah. Okay, since we need the colors of the Meta AI, we wouldn't have to call image icon again. We would have to call it as an asset image so that we will maintain the colors, the original colors of the, yeah. So we can call image dot assets. Yeah. So let's run this. Yeah. So you can see the Meta AI. We just set the height to that of the icons. So we have it this way. Then we set the height to first. Naturally, all the icons are around 16, so let's set it to 16 and see what we got. That's very tiny. So you can use 32. See what we got. Yeah. So I think 32 is cool. I think 32 is cool. And we can go with it, right? Yeah. So we need to give a padding, the inner padding, because the item seems kind of very close to the edges. So let's call the inner padding. We just take property the all and then we make it symmetric. Horizontally, we align them at 8.0. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Is that not too much? Is that not too much, guys? Okay, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Then we have our hint. We have our hint. Let's create a hint. So let's create our hint. The hint says what? Says ask Meta AI for search. So you say ask Meta AI or search. Okay. The hint style, text style. Then sorry, it goes into widget state property or text style. So inside here, we have them as gray. The color is gray, but for now, let's just run it and see what we got. If the text style is okay, then we stick to that. So I think we can make it look better. So let's just give it this color, right? So let's see what we got. Yeah, I just stick to gray. I stick to gray and then take some opacity out of it, and then that should do the magic. Okay, I think this is good. This is looking good, right? I believe you are very happy with this. We are almost done with our WhatsApp. So stick around and let's get this working. Yeah. Okay, so we have our WhatsApp and our search bar is ready. Then the next thing is After our search bar, let's create a space between the search bar and then the messages. So we have a size box of height. Okay, we can literally put all right, let's just keep it this way, right? So we want to maintain an equal height between this search bar, that we want to maintain equal height between the search bar and the stuff. The let me see this for the body. We have the search bar. Okay, all right. So the height from the top of the search bar to the bottom of the WhatsApp, which is the bottom, should be the same as that from the search bar to the text, right? So let's do that ASAP. So with the text, we would have let's look at the text. So before the text, we have this, which are the groups. We have the groups. So let's work around that. And then we go into designing this. All right. Okay. So let's first take a row. Let's first take a row. And take children. So this row will be wrapped in a single child scroll view. We'll wrap this row in a single child scroll view, and then we'll set the scroll axis to the scroll direction to horizontal, Yeah, then inside the row with the children, we'll just create a random strings, and we call it we just call them all unread, then groups, right? So let's create all, let's create unread, and let's create groups, right? So let's create groups. All right, so the map, we just call them category. We'll call this category. And then we open and close bracket. Then we return text. That takes the category. So return this. And this will, since it is scrollable, let's give it a padding like what we did for the home. So we can come here and pick their padding. Yeah. We can come here and pick their pattern. Let me confirm from the design. So yeah, looks so similar to that. So we can come here and pick from there. Let's first do the style. Let's first give them style. Let's give them text style. Then we give them color. And then with that color, let's go to WhatsApp and pick the WhatsApp color, right? So we can pick this and we can also pick this. All right. So when it comes to this, we can just drop this like color. Then we take this off. Right. That becomes the color of our text. Let's run and see what we got. Okay, we have that in our role. Then we say main axis alignment, line to start, to push all the elements to the start of the screen. Let's do cross axis for this. Cross axis should start. Yeah. So after that, we have our text. Our text should be in a padding, and then that padding should, let's have that padding as what we have in the home. Let's have that padding as this. Let's have this. Oh no. So let's have our pattern as this. And rerun our app. See what we got. Okay, that's very big. Let's have 24. Then we wrap each element. Each element will be wrapped in a container. That container will have a decoration with a box decoration, with a color. I think we already have this here. So let's take the radius. This should be 100. And then let's take the color. So we have this. So we have our border radius rounded. And then we can apply the color. then we can apply the color. So we can have our color as this. So let's run our app and see what we got. So that's that. Let's see what the design says. Okay. Active one. Okay. All right. So this should be very light. 3. And then it should also be bold, right? All right. And then we have a padding itself. Maybe we can just do margin only. We want to put a margin in front of every element so that there will be a little space between the items, right? So only right, put an 8.0 margin there. Yeah. So we have that. We have that. So if it is active, we have green, and then the rest are gray. Okay. So for now, let's just make all, since we are not moving between active and inactive stuff. So let's just say it's all is equal to, let's call this a boolean. It's all is equal to category equals all. So if it's all, give it a scalar, else keep it gray. Yeah. And then the font color as well. All right. So let's see what we got. Yeah, guys. So we have this, which is looking very good, almost like our design. And we are almost 1 hour 30 minutes into part 2. I really wanted us to do everything or to finish the whole chat screen in part 2, but I don't want us to spend like 2 hours on a single part. So we would have to end this here. Remember to like, subscribe, put on post notification because we'll be dropping the part 3 very soon. There will be a live video where we do the part 3 and finish up with the chat screen. So without any other issues or troubles, we'll look at our app. We have all screens ready. We have all screens working. We can press and then move to the next screen where we have our items. We have our WhatsApp logo, our camera, our menu screen, and then we have our input, search bar, and then we also have all our categories down there. Okay, there's one thing I want us to do over here, which is this color. Yeah, so this should be 3. Let's refresh. And then the icon 2, we have to change the icon color as well. We have to change the icon color as well. Sorry. So we change the icon color to, which will give them this. Where is it? Okay. So the icon color it is active. Yeah. All right. So let's see what we got. Yeah. Is it very green? Is it that deep? Let's confirm if it is that deep. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we've done a lot. It's 1 hour 30 minutes into the video. Subscribe, comment, like, share, and wait for the part 3. See you on the part 3 of our WhatsApp.